we've noticed is that North Dakota seems to have a penchant for large sculptures, and the Enchanted Highway is definitely a good example of that. It is a series of 7 large metal sculptures over 32 miles between I-94 and the smaller town of Regent. And so we're going to go and take a look at those today.
Rolling.
So this sculpture behind me is Geese in Flight, and it is the first sculpture in the Enchanted Highway. Since 2002 has been considered the world's largest scrap metal sculpture by the Guinness Book of World Records. Sculpture number 2 is located at mile 3 on the highway and is entitled Deer Crossing. There are some impressive photos in the gift shop at the end of the highway where you can see these massive deer being lifted into place. In addition to the sculpture, there's also a fun little maze at this stop. The next stop is down the road a piece at mile 15, but it's a pretty drive, and as you might expect, there wasn't much traffic. This one is called Grasshoppers in the Field, and along with the giant grasshoppers, there's a tiny little playground. It's a super windy day, and it's pretty cool on this one how the cattails and the grasses actually move in the wind. Yeah, that's great. Red grasshopper. From here, the sculptures are closer together, with one every few miles, and at mile 19, you'll find Fisherman's Dream, featuring a 70-foot tall trout jumping out of the water to catch a dragonfly. At mile 24, we stopped for the 5th sculpture, Pheasants on the Prairie. Now at this point, you may be wondering how these massive sculptures came to be, so let me share just a little bit of history. The Enchanted Highway is the brainchild of Gary Greff, a resident of the small town of Regent, where the highway ends. He began building these sculptures in 1989 with the goal of rejuvenating his hometown, which had faced a loss of population and economic decline over the preceding decades. For the first 30 years, he built and maintained the sculptures using his own money and donations until the state of North Dakota recognized their contribution to state tourism and chipped in $75,000 in 2019. Theodore Roosevelt Rides Again is sculpture number 6, located at mile marker 26. With all the Teddy Roosevelt references in North Dakota, you might assume he was born here, but that isn't the case. Before he became president, he visited the state to hunt bison and was so captivated by the landscape and the lifestyle that he invested in a cattle ranch and subsequently spent quite a bit of his time here throughout his life. The last sculpture before you arrive in Regent is the world's largest tin family at mile 30. This was a favorite, but the mosquitoes were so unexpectedly voracious that we quickly retreated and did most of our filming from the safety of the car. At the end of the highway, you'll find yourself in the little town of Regent, where you'll find a gift shop, the Enchanted Castle Hotel, and also the newest sculpture, which is still under construction, which is behind me here, which is a knight and a dragon, and we hear that when it's finished, it'll move, and the dragon will even breathe fire.
So it worked out for us that we were actually able to stay in the hotel at the end of the Enchanted Highway, and it was fitting, I think, because the hotel is kind of quirky the way the sculptures are. We actually got to meet Gary, the guy who created the sculptures, and all that was kind of fun stay in a unique place.
The castle opened in 2012, and I have to say it is one of the most unique and bizarre places we've stayed. If the hallways look vaguely familiar to you, it might be because the castle used to be a high school. There are some new additions like the Excalibur Steakhouse and the Medieval Tavern, but there are also some holdovers from its days as a school, like a full gymnasium that was located just down the hallway from our room.
You all settled in?
I think so, yeah.
Good.
Unusual accommodation, definitely yes. But the bed was comfy, the staff was friendly, and it's one we'll remember for sure.